Hello. You do not need me to tell you that this season pass card is absolutely busted. I don't want to make loads and loads of videos or anything about Nebula. She's incredibly OP. She's definitely going to get nerfed. Let's get right into this deck. So what we're trying to do here is we're taking a deck that we've been toying with a bit sort of since the end of last season. I really like it. I think it was a couple of cards away from being there. I actually think Nebula's really good for it because it kind of fits what we're trying to achieve. I also think Stegadon or Stegadon, I can't remember which one it is. It will be really good when we finally get him. So the idea is really simple. We want to try and lock down locations with Storm or Spider-Man and sort of funnel our opponent into playing into one lane. We've got like control cards like Cosmo and Goose to really limit their options in terms of play. And then we've got some really good stat bombs in terms of Nebula, Sunspot, etc. And then a bit of clog with light green Goblin. Jeff's obviously really good as it's really flexible and can move between lanes. And then lastly, Juggernaut and Polaris for a bit of displacement. We're currently running armor in this as well because as we've got free 1-drops, it just seems to make a lot of sense. I want to just get right into some games today. So if you saw my last video, it's been a week or so since I think I posted. I took a bit of time off and yeah, it was good, but I have been really enjoying the changes that happened sort of like Thursday and Friday. I feel like the meta's been shaken up again a bit. It's nice to be playing at the start of a season. We're going to try and get to Infinite in a relatively good pace. Don't worry, we're not only going to be playing Nebula decks. Sure. I have plans to play other decks as well. I've actually been working on a Surfer type build that's been working relatively okay. So that'll probably be in the next video. I think Nebula is really strong, but you don't need Nebula. Like, I think it's like a good 1-drop, but it's definitely like, okay, we're feeling confident. I think she's a really good card, and she's incredibly strong, and she's definitely going to get nerfed. Okay, bit of a weird snap, but sure. Kind of want to do this. Kind of feel like this is really good if it works. If it doesn't work, we probably lose. Oh no. Rough. Quinjet, okay, that's fine. I might snap back, I'm not gonna lie, guys. We don't need much to win left. Although, I actually think we might be better off establishing... He's copied it, right? So he's gonna play thingy anyway. What's it called? Shoot. If he plays 2 dinos, it doesn't matter. So what I was thinking about was, do we Juggernaut to get one over and then block it with a Mystique with Cosmo, but we're just never going to get that block. It's going to be an ongoing here, so I think we'd probably be best off playing. We don't want to play anything left. That's for sure. I might just play this right. And then just ignore the other lanes for now. Yeah, Devil's fine. Cool, 13. I think this wins. I feel good about this. I feel like he's just going to play another dino, right? Like, he doesn't want to play too many cards from his hand. Hopefully he doesn't just Cosmo mid. I played someone earlier and I kind of did a very similar play to this and I got taken down by Cosmo. Okay, that looks like just another Devil Dino. Yeah, easy peasy. So yeah, as you can see, this deck's got some like good options. It's a bit of a thinking man's deck as it goes. But Titania's really grew on me. I never used to be like a big Titania fan. But playing a lot of this deck, Titania's kind of crazy, like, and it just really messes with people a lot. Yeah, she's grown on me a lot. So in terms of where we finished last season, we wanted to try and make it to, I think at one point we were saying we were going to make it to rank 200. But then I think I dialed that back a bit in my head to try and get to 150 optimistically. And I think, let me just check, we finished on... Where were we? We finished on rank 133, and we were doing really well, and we were climbing really fast. With a negative build, but then we did decide to sort of go a different way, which is kind of trying to make this deck, and we were struggling. I'm not gonna lie, like we went up and down quite a bit. Kind of want to just storm right, but I also kind of want to just storm the Baxter building. But yeah, I want to showcase a couple of different decks for climbing. Don't worry, they're not all going to have Nova in at all. That's not the plan. No, I keep saying Nova, I mean Nebula. Interesting. Is this a bot? It's really hard to tell, but like, splitting base Electra that many times just seems a bit crazy. I'm actually going to save the Polaris to try and pull. Only gives us 8, but then if we're going to Polaris something across, yeah, that's fine. Hopefully we hit the Angela. Okay, didn't play into it. I feel like this is definitely a bot. I might be wrong, I might be misreading the signs here. This does seem like very botty behavior. I don't know whether you guys agree. We'll snap the bot. We'll see what happens. I think this is definitely a bot. Okay, nice. Yeah, they've only got one card, so we can just bounce it over to Flooded. I mean, it could be... Oh, actually, it could be Doom, right? But this just wins. This just wins. Yeah. Oh, that wasn't a bot? What? Or can bots surrender now? But someone's going to need to clarify that, because I don't know, man. This is a crazy base. Not that you can't have a crazy base Electra. Like, I actually have a really nice Killmonger. So I'm not one to talk, because I feel like some people would see this and be like, wow, that's a bot. That is kind of like my main thing of thinking, is that a bot? Is someone having a really nice base card? Okay. Ah, here she is. I kind of like the idea of Nebulaing left because it kind of encourages like random play. I'm gonna storm mid. Kingpin's interesting, especially playing the Kingpin and Strange this early. We're going to go for a snap, because we got this Spider-Man. We're just going to be able to snap on Strange Academy, and then we should just win from there, hopefully. You know what, we're actually going to Jug as well, because, like, why not? You know, like, literally at this point, why not? Okay, yeah, sure, that's fine. Hopefully this bounces Sentry to the right as well. Yep, perfect. Now if he was planning to send the Void over to our side, he can't. Interesting deck so far, though. Okay. We can still lose very, very easily. But he does need to be careful here, because he might... Well, he doesn't know this yet, obviously, but he could end up very easily not being able to play any cards next turn, which would be ideal for us. I think Killmonger would be a really sad one to see this turn. Not too surprising at the moment with the current meta. Enchantress. That's fine. Viper. And he gave me the... Ouch. I'm glad I snapped. Such a good snap. I've just absolutely annoyed... Yeah, poor guy. Rough. Oh, man. I don't know if that's the same deck list. I don't think it quite is, but there's the there's that Snapster deck list that he's adamant is like this crazy good one. I've watched the videos on it and stuff, and when Snapster plays it, he does really, really well. But most of the time I've played it. I don't know whether it's because it's quite a new deck, and obviously Snapster's played a lot more of it than most people, but people do seem to struggle quite a lot. Okay. I think we'll just play the armor here. Nice. Yeah, rough, bro. But it is what it is. Okay, Invisible Woman's not terrible. I think we'll just go one further and play a Cosmo on top. I think we really want these cards, and more so we really don't want him to have these cards. Plus, I don't want to get Enchantress. I am feeling pretty good about this, to be honest. Kind of want a Nebula, but I also kind of want a Sunspot, and I don't think I'm floating as much. I think this will do, and I think we're going to snap there. So we're going to snap here, because I think we've like done enough to sufficiently stop most of his threats, and then I would expect him to either... I mean, he could play Nimrod. Nimrod could be kind of annoying, but I kind of am expecting more like... what's it called? Oh, that's upsetting. Destroy Mid, which would be quite painful. It's good that we got the draw off, though. I mean, we could just go down the route of Juggernaut, Goose, but we could just Spider-Man, and then... As long as we're winning 2 lanes at this turn, we can... I could play Sunspot as well. That's my bad. Okay, waves a card. Scarlet Witch gives him 8. Oh, that's rough, dude. That is rough. Okay. It's not, that might actually screw us. Scarlet Witch and Reality Stone, man. Like, what is that about? Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's gonna be Destroyer, man. Scarlet Witch. Yeah. Fair. That was off the hub as well, wasn't it? Was that off the hub? Yeah, it was, because I've got an Invisible Woman. Hilarious. God, I hate the hub. It's not as bad as X-Man should be, yeah. So, yeah, the next deck that I am going to make a video on features Killmonger. But I don't think you need to go overboard. I think, like, Nebula's a really, really good card. But at the end of the day, it is a one-drop, so... I think, like, I've seen some people saying about how, like, Elektra's going to become meta, and it's going to be really good and stuff. I personally, I don't see it. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't see it. I don't think we're at that point where Nebula's going to be so strong that Elektra's going to become meta. I just think Killmonger's going to become more of a staple. And then I think they'll adjust Nebula. I think they'll take her down to be a 1-0 like Sunspot. Which I didn't think was going to make that much difference to Sunspot, but I think there's actually been a sufficient amount of times now where it has actually affected the game. So, it's just another bot. See, this is one of those cards that I would say looks very bottish. Plus, playing the Lady Sif mid in this scenario just doesn't seem like something a human would do. And I might be wrong in that respect. We just want to try and get some power out. I kind of want to save the Jeff for a surprise. We've already snapped, and if it's a bot, the bot's just going to do its thing anyway. This does have this very, like, botty discard thing, though. Should we emote to see whether, like, it's a real person? I think we're just going to Polaris, because then this will pull one of these, which kind of shuts that down. And then I think we're happy just Cosmoing right at this point. As long as he doesn't play 2 mid, we're in a good spot. It would suck if this is a 2. Yeah, Morbius is kind of annoying. Okay, cool. We still got a good pool. There's the Cosmo. He's discarded that Apocalypse once, so he's probably just going to play 12 right. No point playing any cards. Yeah. So that was a person, unless they made the bots retreat. I just can't remember whether or not they made the bots retreat. Nice Morbius, though. I'm more of an Inkified guy, as I've said a billion times, but you know, I can appreciate some gold cards once in a while. We are climbing. So this month as well, I was actually going to keep track and do a little presentation at the end of the season about these chests at the end here. Because I opened a lot last season, and obviously you can't see what you've got after you've done them. So I kind of want to keep track of how many I do and what's actually in them to sort of give my opinion. Because I think the season pass is definitely worth value for money, which I think is what most people care about. And I do honestly believe it is a good value season pass, especially if you like the card. So like, for example, with like Nimrod, if you looked at it and were like, oh, I don't want to play Nimrod, then yeah, you're not gonna get much out of that. But you know, with like some of the cards, like this month with Nebula, like I think Nebula is a really, really good card. Oh, this is delightful. I think I've got a snap here, really. Oh, okay, he snapped simultaneously. Well, I love Polaris as well, man. I used to not be a Polaris fan, but Polaris has come around in my eyes big time. I think Polaris is a really good card. 100%. Make sure you put Polaris in your deck. I kind of want to loop the Sunspot in here as well. I'm just a bit worried that he's going to have a way to get back into the lane, but I think it's fine. Yeah, he plays 2. Cute. Bye-bye. Okay. That Nebula could be a bit problematic. I mean, realistically, right, the best he could do is he could lock down Voromir here with Professor X. He's playing first, so if we go Spider-Man, Titania, that plays around his Voromir. He hasn't played a card here yet either, which he might forget, I guess. Oh, I guess actually no, because the way X works, it would just lock it. And I don't know whether we want to risk him just Xing us. I think we're going to go for it. If we draw Jeff, we're in a really good spot. If we don't draw Jeff, we're in a really bad spot. If he Professor X's us... Oh no, he's revealing first. What am I talking about? I was literally sitting here like, why was I about to do that without like thinking, you know, like playing it through in my head? We would have tied it anyway, and I just don't really see him having enough... I mean, there's Big House on right, so like, unless he's got like Squirrel Girl plus... It's hard for him to get back into left, I think. Okay, that's fine. Mr. Bree, sure. gonna go in second, which does suck a bit. Say it's Hazmat Luke Cage. I think if we just do nothing, we win. I think the players just do nothing. Yeah, I think the players just do nothing. Yeah. Nice. Nice, easy 4 keeps. So yeah, as you can see, it's a good deck. We'll talk about subs for Nebula though, because like I'm very aware a lot of people aren't going to buy business season pass, and I don't want them to think this deck only works with Nebula. So I would say that right now you could get rid of, or if you're missing any of the cards. I mean, I think this is all other than that, it's all pool 1 and 3 now. I think Titania is now pool 3. But if you're missing any of the cards, there's some good substitutions. So, like, for example, I would say that you could quite easily fit a lot of different things in. So, and these are fairly interchangeable, because where Nebula was before, I've had, like, Professor X in that slot, I've had America Chavez. So we'll talk through some different options and how they kind of benefit the deck. So I think something that could go in here is Luke Cage, because obviously if you are running into like Hazmat decks, or you're coming up against people who are doing a lot of power reduction, especially with the new High Evolutionary when that comes out, Luke Cage will be a good fit. I think we'll see a lot more of Luke Cage as well. I don't really like... Ebony Maw could work in this deck, but I don't really like it that much. What else can we do? I think Quake can be good. I think Quake plus Flooding is really interesting. It's obviously not a very consistent combo, but if you can manage to Storm and get Flooding going into Quake, and then you swap the turn it around, that can be really good. Green Goblin we've already got in here. Rogue could be good, I guess, but it's kind of like, why would you play Rogue when you can play Buffed Enchantress? As we go down as well, Debris could be good if you're struggling against like Galactus decks, for example, or you don't have any of the free drops. Maybe like Debris would be a good fit. Normally quite a good staple card at this point. At the moment, if you don't have Nebula, Killmonger is obviously extremely good. Killmonger is just a really good free drop in my opinion. I've played so much Killmonger, I literally, you know, I don't even have like a nice variant for him. I've split the base that many times, that's how much I like Killmonger. I think he's just a really good, consistent card, and it just doesn't ever feel bad playing Killmonger and only killing like 1 or 2 minions. Some games you never even kill a minion, and if you're going to put Killmonger in, you could even go as far as to swap out Sunspot or Nebula for Nova as well, just to give your light minions a little extra boost, which is sometimes a nice reach. I think Maximus is fine. It's just good stats for cost, you know, 7 for 3 is really, really good. Super Skrull could be good, especially as you've seen like quite a few ongoing decks, like there's more dinos around and stuff, so like Super Skrull could be good. Shang-Chi, again, really situational, can be really good to just kill off big minions. Shuri's obviously a bit less present now, so is Thanos, but Shang-Chi still is always a good card, like you can't really go wrong putting a Shang-Chi in. I think as well, I was running Rescue briefly. I don't think Rescue's great, but if you're struggling, Rescue could be a good card to put in. Absorbing Man's a nice one if you've got him. Absorbing Man can obviously copy a lot of these really good on reveals. You can even go for some cheeky stuff with Spider-Man if you want to put Zabo in as well. What else have we got? Professor X is a good one. Yes, Inkified Pixel Professor X. Don't judge me. I think Professor X is really good, but he's a bit slow. If you're going to put the Professor X, then I'd probably be tempted to put Daredevil to make him a bit more consistent, and then also to bait out some snaps. But yeah, Professor X is pretty good. Valkyrie could be good, I guess. I haven't really played much with Valkyrie. I kind of need to make a Valkyrie deck, but I think Valkyrie's always a good inclusion in decks like this. And then obviously America Chavez could be really good for keeping your deck so you actually draw stuff. Doc Ock could be good, as obviously he can like pull things out. And lastly, I'd say like Magneto's a really good 6 as well. I think the Magneto, if you wanted something with a bit more top end, like Magneto could be really good. But yeah, I think it's a nice little deck. I think it gets the job done. We're going to play one more game. If you've got any questions about this one, it is a deck that I keep coming back to and I'm trying to figure out. I do think Stegron is like a card that's really critical to making this work that I'm missing. I don't know what I'd swap Stegron for. But it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. I'll also make sure there's a deck code below, so please feel free to check that out. We're not that worried about the rock, so we're just going to play Nebula right. I will say the thing I like about Nebula is the ability to like sway the way the opponent plays, especially if they're like some people really don't like playing into unrevealed locations, which is fair enough because I'm sure now this is going to reveal as Murder World or something. But look, now he's had to play right. Now he's playing moves, so maybe he wanted to play right anyway. Okay, I think we're just going to play this left. I'm going to snap here as well. I think we got a really good hand. Sometimes when you roll TVA, you're a bit like, I don't know if I can actually like win this because, you know, TVA. And you just don't draw cards. And I think in a lot of the other videos, or a lot of the other games I played with TVA, not many of them have been recorded, I've always struggled with TVA. We do also obviously have Storm in a deck, so if we drew Storm, we did have the option to do the old Bamboozle, where we get rid of the TVA and they maybe overcommit in a way they shouldn't, which could be quite critical for a deck-like move, because they might play something really important like Doctor Strange early, just to try and get stats on the board that could cause some serious problems. I like Green Goblin here as well, because if he did Doctor Strange left, for example, and pulled the dagger over, he wouldn't actually hit anything, which would be really, really good as well. Probably Doctor Strange. Yep. I could have moved the Jeff. I did think about it, but then, you know, if you move him and then the dagger gets moved as well. What's up? Okay, so we don't really want a Polaris here, as obviously it could pull the dagger. I think we've got this. It's just doing things in the right order. I think just going Juggernaut, Titania mid, and then moving this left is probably good enough. I'd be very surprised if he commits a lot of power to left. Oh, okay, that was fun. You're a brilliant guy, Shaman. Cool. Thanks for that, mate. I just retreat on TVA most of the time, man. I mean, maybe he thought he stood a chance, and then, yeah, he realised he messed it up a bit. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be with another video, and we will be looking at using this free drop Sarah list, which I'm very excited to share. Again, you don't need Nebula, ignore the Nebula. We'll go through that tomorrow. Anyway, have a good one.